Hi, my name is Lee Benz. Thanks for stopping by. I'm just a regular homeschool mom who a few years ago struck gold in the form of two full tuition scholarships, one for each of my two children. Today I wanted to tell you an amazing story. It's the story of how we convinced some highly skeptical colleges that our humble homeschool was worth investing so much of their limited resources into. Those two full tuition scholarships saved our family over $184,000 and launched our two boys into a college career that could get them their bachelor's degree without incurring one dime of debt. So right now I wanted to tell you about how we did that. First, let's back up a little and tell you a bit about our homeschool. When I say that we were a regular homeschool, I mean to say we were a really very regular, simple homeschool. We didn't use accreditation agencies. We didn't use co-ops even. I didn't use any government or alt-ed programs. It was really just me and my husband and the boys, the dog, and of course a boatload of books. And yet, despite those humble beginnings, my children were admitted to every college they applied to, and they got great scholarships to each. And I'm here to tell you how you can do it too. The key was in the homeschool records that we produced for those children, specifically the transcripts that we made. Now, it was a mommy-made transcript, I made it myself with what we called kitchen credits, and we didn't spend a dime on accreditation agencies or government programs. Are you intrigued? So let's keep going. Ever since we won those two full tuition scholarships, parents have asked me, how did you create such beautiful transcripts for your boys? Well, the truth is, it wasn't easy. When I started homeschooling high school, I was filled with insecurity and self-doubt. I mean, who was to say that what colleges really wanted in homeschool records? The truth was I didn't know. And worse, I knew I didn't know, and that was the truth that terrified me the most. My husband and I desperately wanted to graduate our boys from homeschooling. We had tasted the bitterness of public school when our children were younger, and we were positively committed to not returning them to public school. But at the same time, we didn't have money for college, let alone a private Christian college or a private Christian high school. And besides, homeschooling our boys had been the most wonderful experience of our lives, and we felt like that we would have done anything just to finish the job right. And still, every time I thought about preparing or maintaining high school records, I would break out in a cold sweat. I'm sort of different in the way I handle stress like that, though. I research like crazy until I master the information. And so I was studying how to create my son's transcripts. And then suddenly I noticed that none of the homeschool experts seemed to agree about anything. I could read 6 different books and end up with 7 different opinions on how to do a transcript. Each book seemed to have a completely different approach to grades or credits or record keeping or co-op classes. The format would be different. Just about every aspect of creating a transcript was different, and it was so frustrating. And so what I decided to do was to look at the popular options of accreditation programs and alternative education. But these groups too seem to totally dismiss and discount my method of homeschooling and made me feel inadequate as a teacher and even as a mother. I was totally overwhelmed by all of the conflicting hard and fast rules on how things had to be done, most of which didn't even apply to my situation. And I was weary at the suggestion that my way of homeschooling was somehow deficient when I knew it was working so well. And I was extremely frustrated when I was told that you had to use a certain format or a particular approach or a single method and that would guarantee success, because I had already seen homeschoolers of all varieties succeed, so I knew that it had to be possible. None of these rigid declarations worked for me. And in addition, none of the books I read really helped me in my free-form homeschool, which was very hard to compartmentalize. The books seemed to be geared either to unschooling or school at home, and there seemed to be no help in the middle for, regular families who do a mix mash of both or neither. And I could find no single source that would speak to parents who were elsewhere on that, unschooling to classical continuum. So I remember at one point being so discouraged and inadequate that I actually considered throwing in the towel. And it was at this thought that kept coming back to me. It really shouldn't be so hard. My breakthrough came when I started to visit and talk to the colleges. My reasoning was that they were going to be the customer, really, of all my hard work, so why not ask them directly what they were looking for? And that's when I discovered the shocking truth about homeschool transcripts. The truth that all these experts and agencies won't divulge. And what is that truth? Well, the colleges told me there are a lot of right ways of doing things. Ta-da! That's it. So before you go getting real discouraged in this message, keep in mind that there is one very important corollary to this truth, and that is the colleges completely get this. That's right, the colleges understand homeschooling and homeschool transcripts. Beyond that, colleges really like homeschool students. We've come a long way, baby, since those early days of homeschooling when colleges looked at us like we just crawled out from under a rock or something. These days, most colleges really appreciate all the variety they see from independent homeschool students. They love our quirky course titles and our delight-directed learning. They appreciate mommy grades and kitchen credits. And I think most shockingly of all, they really didn't seem to care much about accreditation, which seemed to be the, be all and end all to many homeschooling experts. It's simple, really. Colleges see unaccredited transcripts all the time from public and private schools. That's right. Transcripts from brick and mortar schools may be just unaccredited, just like your own homeschool transcript is unaccredited. And part of the college's job then is to assess the high school records of all students who apply. And the most shocking part of all is that they know that even an accredited transcript with an English grade of A, for example, that student may not have the ability to read and write at a high school level, high school graduate level. For heaven's sakes, they don't even take the accredited GPA at face value, but they will often recalculate the GPA of high school students from every school. So it's their job to assess every student. And they learned long ago not to blindly accept accredited transcript. They kind of operate under that Ronald Reagan philosophy of trust but verify. So sure, there are still a handful of backward-thinking colleges that want homeschoolers to jump through unreasonable hoops, but to be honest, that number is shrinking rapidly. You can't imagine how liberating this concept was for me. I mean, I had the freedom to teach any subject or skill in a way that worked for my family without being judged harshly by people who didn't know me or know my children. It meant that I didn't have to change my homeschool just to match up with what some book said. It meant that I could relax and feel confident about my children's college preparation, and I could give myself the freedom to just enjoy learning without second guessing myself about tests or textbooks or grades. So how about you? Where are you in your homeschool journey? So do any of these scenarios seem familiar to you? Maybe you have a junior high student, and the thing that keeps you from continuing your effective homeschool is fear of making that very scary, permanent record. Dun, dun, dun. The permanent record. Or maybe you started your high school years ago and you don't really know how to organize your homeschool or classes into what's required by colleges, or how to determine grades, or even what a high school credit is. Perhaps you're progressing through high school and the transcript is growing, and it's growing into an all-encompassing worry that's filling every waking moment. You feel like you're too busy teaching to keep records or learning about transcripts. And what's worse, you're beginning to worry about homeschool courses because you could be forgetting something. So you may even have a senior and you're feeling dread because you know that transcripts should have been done a long time ago, and you may even be in full panic mode. Is my child prepared for college? Can I pull together a transcript in time? Can I get everything done? And why has everybody else done a better job at homeschooling than me? If you find yourself in one of those situations, I've got some bad news. Almost everything you've been told about homeschool transcripts is wrong. Yes, it's true. If you've been homeschooling for any amount of time, I'm sure you've already gotten an earful from experts, accreditation agencies, alternative education about what you should do about high school. Well, the problem with this well-intended advice is that it usually comes from a very biased source. Just take a look at the ads on some of the homeschool websites. If you click on some, you'll be taken to software, virtual schools, accreditation agencies, or thinly veiled public school programs with online access. And they all will promise you a solution to your transcript problem. But it's what's behind those promises that you want to look at. Because if you go to the expert route, you're going to get a lot of transcript do's and don'ts, and that can put your joyful homeschool into a tiny, cramped high school box. And if you go the software route, you'll have that program to play with, but it's not going to help you with that all-important question of exactly what you put on the transcript. And if you go the virtual school route, you might get some free curriculum, but you're also going to have to endure the government-run assembly line program with rules and inflexibility and questioning your values, things that we've seen for years. If you go with an accreditation agency, you might get some consulting, but you'll also be subjected to some strict rules and requirements that really, they put your homeschool in a straitjacket. And I'm telling you, it will increase your record-keeping requirements. It doesn't make it easier, it increases those requirements. If you give up and put your kids back in public school, then you're going to be throwing away all of the benefits of homeschooling just at the time when they're most important, during high school. But there is one thing that I can guarantee you will get from all of those groups, and that's grief. Grief in the form of inflexible requirements, that we know better than you sort of judgment and limiting options. Do you understand what I mean? Because the professionals, they will put your student into a box, and you are your child's best teacher. They can judge or evaluate your children against societal norms because in the end, they don't really trust your judgment. As you can imagine, my message of empowerment to homeschoolers has not been very well received by professional educators and accreditation agencies. I remember I was at one convention and some of the representatives from another agency were very concerned, and they came to talk to me, and they were really worried that I was telling parents that they could homeschool independently. Wow. At a low point in the discussion, she actually uttered one of the questions that true homeschoolers hate the most. She said, "But what about socialization?" That pretty much ended the conversation because I knew that the person really didn't understand what independent homeschooling was all about. So in the past, homeschoolers like us had little choice to submit ourselves to these groups and their judgments and rules and limitations if we wanted a chance for a child to get admitted to the college or university of their choice. That is, until now. Right now, I'm standing by to give you my 4-step total transcript solution, and it explains everything that you need to know on how to create homeschool transcripts that perfectly reflect your student and your homeschool, whether it's classical or unschooled or really all over the board eclectic mix. You can translate any wonderful educational experience into grades and credits on your very own official homeschool transcript. Instead of feeling stressed or overwhelmed by the magnitude of the test, you're going to feel relaxed and confident, knowing that your official homeschool transcript is the perfect way to represent your best homeschool work and your student. In fact, instead of worrying about your ability to create a transcript, you'll be able to focus on the joy of homeschooling your children through graduation. Now, I realize that what you don't need is just another ebook sitting on your computer telling you what you should be doing. I think we already have enough shoulds in this world, right? And that's why I'm giving you this total transcript solution. It's a direct path to wherever you are right now to completing your transcript. So imagine the blessed relief that you're going to feel when you hold your child's completed transcript in your hands, and the total validation you're going to feel when colleges express their acceptance about your homeschool by granting admission and even scholarships. And then you will need to complete this one dreaded task when you follow the 4 simple steps of my total transcript solution. Step 1, after you have unwrapped all the resources in this digital package, your first step is to print out the handouts for the video course, Making a Transcript, and then hit play. All you have to do is sit back and listen to the teaching and discover the secrets of creating a great transcript that gives your child the best chance of getting accepted to the college or university of their dreams with big scholarships. And then a 1-hour overview will immediately help you feel relaxed and capable. It's going to eliminate your fears and energize you to finally begin forging ahead confidently with your homeschool transcript. No inflexible rules, no software that you have to figure out. It's just simple to understand instructions from another homeschool mom. Step 2. Now you need to read The Easy Truth About Homeschool Transcripts. It's a great how-to guide on creating transcripts that colleges will love. It's only 109 pages. It's very easy to read. It's a manual giving simple step-by-step instructions on determining high school level, giving credits, establishing grades, calculating GPA. You'll also discover how to integrate transcripts from outside sources, things like community college or co-ops. And you can document delight-directed learning. And it's showing you how a real-life transcript will evolve over each year of high school. So you're going to be amazed at how easy this manual is to understand and to implement. And best of all, you won't have to change your style of homeschooling one iota. The easy truth is you can have a transcript that works for you rather than vice versa. Step 3. By now, you'll be brimming with confidence about creating a perfect transcript for your child. And so the next step is to unpack the transcript template collection. Because probably the #1 request I receive is to get copies of templates that I use to create my own students' scholarship-winning transcripts. Until now, they haven't been available at any price. It was exclusive to my Total Transcript Solution customers. And you'll receive these templates in Word and Excel format to easily download. They can't be acquired separately. They're just part of this offer. You're also getting the very best transcript templates and samples that I've uncovered in my research, the ones that I didn't use. Now you'll be able to see examples of other successful transcripts so that you can choose the template that works best for you, because homeschool parents are different and you might need a different transcript template. So that's right, you get to work with the one that works best for you, and you'll never get pushed from me to do one over the other. So as I say when I'm speaking to groups, transcripts are an art, not a science. And the right answer for you and your homeschool could be slightly different than what worked for me. When was the last time an expert told you that? Step 4. Step 4 is that once you've chosen the perfect template, that's when the fun really begins. You claim your copy of the Total Transcript Solution. You're getting 1 month's worth of weekly personal coaching sessions with me. And we can discuss it together on the phone and figure out your situation and develop a plan to ensure your success. That coaching session is part of the free weekly consulting with document review that you're entitled to for the first 30 days. And I'll tell you, that is plenty of time to complete the task to produce a winning transcript for your child. If you're like hundreds of other homeschoolers who have looked to me for help with their transcripts, I can honestly say that these 4 simple steps are going to help you solve your transcript challenge quickly and easily. You don't have to spend weeks researching the topic and then changing your homeschool in order to fit into some confining process or rule-based system. Together, we can make quick work of this necessary task. And when you're done, you're going to wonder why you ever allowed yourself to worry so much. I can't guarantee that your transcript is going to gain scholarship or admissions. No, can't do that. But there is one thing I can guarantee. If you follow these simple steps, you will be able to confidently present your official homeschool transcript in any situation, knowing that it is perfectly accurate representation of your child's total homeschool experience, or your money back. That's right, because I am a homeschool mom and I know it's important to offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're unhappy with the HomeScholar Total Transcript solution in any way, just let us know within 60 days and you will receive a prompt, courteous refund. No harm done, no hard feelings, and we can still part as friends. I challenge you to look high and low over the internet to find unbiased advice like this: tested, proven, complete, and 100% guaranteed to give you the results you're looking for. It's nothing comparable out there. Now, you could do it yourself and research and read a lot of books in order to create your own transcripts, but that could cost you a lot of time and a lot of money and cause a lot of frustration. Plus, you might end up with something that's not at all what colleges need. Or you could pay someone to do it for you, but then you could be out many hundreds of dollars, maybe even 1,000 in some situations, and you could lose the ability to document your homeschool the way you know it should be done. You could ignore the problem. I've seen that done, but I guarantee that the decision will come back to haunt you, probably in the winter of your child's senior year when college applications are due, so don't do that. And finally, you could tackle the problem head on with the confidence of knowing that the people who have gone before you and prepared the way have tools and training that are going to make quick work out of this dreaded high school task. Now, I know these are tough economic times, and I know there are families out there who are heartsick with worry about how they can afford to document their homeschool in a way that's affordable and achievable. Did you know that the leading North American accreditation agency currently charges homeschooling families over $1,800 just for a 4-year accredited transcript? And if you wanted to get help from them, that's another $40 an hour. The HomeScholar Total Transcript solution gives you the tools you need to create your own transcript at just a fraction of that cost. This offer represents a way to freedom. It represents a way for you and your family to take control over preparing your homeschool transcripts in a way that won't break the bank. So instead of forking over thousands, you're getting the HomeScholar Total Transcript solution with downloads and bonuses and online training and personal support valued at over $500, all for just $47. Just think, for the price of taking your big family out to lunch, you can once and for all lift the burden that has been weighing you down and preventing your family from fully enjoying your high school journey. While making a great transcript is one of the major stresses that parents face when homeschooling high school, I know from firsthand experience that there are others as well. And that's why when you get my total transcript solution, you're also going to see some great bonuses to thank you for your purchase. Bonus number 1 is an online training called High School Testing. Next to transcripts and record keeping, the standard high school tests are a major source of parental concern. And in this 1-hour audio course, I will explain to you the common college admission exams, the SAT, ACT, PSAT, AP, SAT2, and CLEP, and strategies for choosing the ones that are going to make your child look like a genius in the eyes of the colleges. Bonus number 2 is the HomeScholar High School Resource Pack. And I've gathered together some of my best tools to help you simplify your homeschooling high school. You're getting the planning guide, which I use in many of my talks. It's going to give you a clear picture of success of what a college prep education actually looks like. You're going to be getting my sample grading criteria, which enables you to document your high school grades in a way colleges will understand and believe, even if you don't use tests. And you're going to be getting my comprehensive college planning calendar, which is packed with useful links that cover all of the major college prep milestones for each year from middle school all the way to senior in high school. You'll never miss an important date or be caught flat-footed because of this tool at your disposal. Bonus number 3 is the 7 Secrets to Homeschooling Through a Financial Storm. This is a special report, a small ebook, and I'm going to help you to save money. My 35-page special report provides additional money-saving tips to help you stretch your homeschool dollar. Back to basic tips that will help you save money and simplify your homeschool. How to give your kids a true college prep education without spending a fortune on curriculum. And tips on the smartest homeschool investments that can provide amazing returns. Bonus number 4 is a 30-day free trial membership to the Silver Training Club. It has a content valued at over $400, and it's usually $27 per month, but you get that 30 days free as a trial membership. Now, bonuses 5, 6, and 7 are big surprises. Those are additional high school training and templates delivered to your inbox. The Silver Training Club is my special membership site that is packed full with great stuff that's going to help you immensely as you go through your homeschooling high school journey. Here's a sneak peek at some of the benefits that are waiting for you as a club member. First, you get some how-to training courses. Those are video and audio classes, public presentations that I've made, different classes on things like preparing homeschoolers for college, creating a transcript, preparing to homeschool high school, grades and credits, record keeping. And then you get some audio instructions. Those are audio answers to some of your biggest questions, including many of the questions that you may be having. You'll get in-depth answers, comprehensive answers to some of the most challenging high school questions that people have posted for everyone to see and benefit from. You'll get tools and templates, not just on transcripts, but on other things. There are many tools and templates to choose from. You'll get college prep checklists, a customized checklist for every year from middle school through high school. And then you'll get articles and other online training. And you get convention prices on all of my products so that you can get the best deal on anything else that you wanted to purchase. Every month, the content of the Silver Training Club changes, so you always get new classes every month. And I add new cool stuff for members. I rotate all of my how-to training, and it will be sure to be your favorite homeschool resource. Let me tell you about our worry-free guarantee. Now you can try this site for free for 30 days. If you love it, and I know that you will, you don't have to do anything and you can continue to enjoy the continuously refreshed content for as long as you want to, and it's just $27 a month. If you don't want to continue, you can cancel at any time. Just send me an email. Regardless, you have 30 days of open access to that website to gain as much knowledge as possible to help you on your journey. I really don't want you to worry about the recurring nature of the $27 charge because our 60-day guarantee applies to those monthly charges as well. Say example that you want to stay on just for the 30 days, but then you lose track of time and you don't notice that the 30 days have gone by and you receive a bill. No worries. You just send me an email or hit reply to any of the emails that I send you, and then you say you'd like to get a refund for your last bill. Now, normally I respond within a day, and I will always honor your guarantee, our guarantee, no matter what, and no hassles for you. Picture yourself handing a perfectly formatted, completely accurate transcript to college admission staff. You're smiling with pride at the quality of the education you've given your child, and how confident will you feel? Wouldn't it be great to know that you can homeschool the way that is right for your child and still have this confident assurance when your permanent record is shown to a college for the first time? Tell me truthfully, isn't that kind of relief really well worth $47? Are you ready to take control of your child's transcript? Are you ready to save big money and time and hassles with accreditation agencies and certified teachers out of your way? If so, just click on the order button below and I'll see you on the other side. Before we wrap up, I'd like permission to take you on a little journey. Imagine your child is now a successful college graduate and happily married. You have a lovely granddaughter whom you adore. It's Mother's Day and the entire family has gathered around you, showering you with love and attention. You open a beautiful Mother's Day card from your grown child, and it's a brief but heartfelt message. I love you, Mom. Thank you for homeschooling me. At that moment, you know that homeschooling through high school was the best decision you've ever made. Now, I know that homeschooling high school seems like an insurmountable challenge right now, but in a few years it's going to be over and you're going to look back with fond memories at your time together. You've come a long way in your homeschool. Don't throw that investment away by giving some other group with unclear motives ultimate control over how you finish your job. You can do this. You are the best qualified teacher for your student. I sincerely hope that you'll give me a chance to help you. Creating a homeschool transcript is a vital task that I can help you deal with quickly, inexpensively, effectively, and successfully. All you need is a little training and confidence. I would love to help.